Hi everyone. Before I start this session, I remind you to subscribe this channel. In my previous video, I mentioned that emotional intelligence is linked to Gestalt communication. I promised in my previous video that I would make a video on this topic. So today's topic is Gestalt Communication. Today's session is based on my research, which was published in Organization Dynamics. Gestalt is a word from psychology, which means to study the whole. According to Gestalt school of thought, it is better to study the whole because it gives better information than studying individually the elements of a whole. For example, when we meet a person, we pay attention to a whole face of that person instead of paying only attention to components of his or her face, such as a nose or eyes. We remember the person's face by paying attention to his or her whole face. The concept of Gestalt is applicable to communication as well. Communication is a Gestalt experience. Previous research has paid attention to verbal and non-verbal communication but ignore other elements. Gestalt communication I have divided into two parts: overt communication and covert communication. Overt communication has two elements: explicit and implicit communication. Explicit communication refers to words that we use. However, we know that words may have a subjective meaning. For example, what exactly means good? You can interpret this word in a different way. Even dictionaries give several meanings to a word. So therefore, it is wrong assumption that words give a full meaning of a message. At times, we misinterpret or misunderstand words. And while paying attention to words, we also pay attention to other aspects of communication. For example, non-verbal communication, which is also observable, and that what we call implicit communication. Non-verbal communication as I said, is observable, such as words, construction of sentences, gestures, tone, immediacy of information, or enrichment of information. For example, when we say good to your work is very different to say a longer sentence, your work is good. It has a different impact. So we should remember that minor changes in construction of a sentence can have major effects on the listener or reader of the message. Second part is covert communication. Covert communication has not been emphasized in previous research. Covert communication I have divided into three elements: the context, reference chunks, and emotions. All these three elements influence interpretation of messages and behaviors. Context is a broad term. It includes conditions and situations. When we talk about organizations, it includes policies, rules and regulations, positions, reputation of a person, and so on. People interpret messages or behaviors in understanding the context. For example, your manager can think that he or she has authority to make a decision in certain direction, whereas you are of an opposite opinion. You may think that your manager does not have this power. In fact, misunderstanding develops because we interpret context differently. And this can be a source of disagreements and conflicts. The second is reference chunks or mental schema. They are stored in your memories. What does it mean, reference chunks? Information comes in units, and similar information we put together, and they build our several reference chunks. These reference chunks develop social realities, or say cognitive social realities, among people. Based on cognitive social realities, we interpret information. These reference chunks and cognitive social realities are linked to human emotions as well. People react emotionally based upon their reference chunks. So when you receive an information, you consult your mind, and mind reacts according to your personal social realities. For example, if I show you a picture and ask you to make a guess of that person, personality, how will you make a guess? You will see a picture and consult your reference chunks. If that person matches with the persons whom you like, then you will have a positive comments about the person who is in a photograph. And if that picture matches with those persons whom you dislike, then you have a negative impression of that person. So, this Gestalt communication helps you to interpret your incoming information. So, how it is linked to emotional intelligence? Appreciating and comprehending the concept of Gestalt communication, you will realize that people use various resources to interpret your message. So, when you have this understanding, you will be more careful in sending your messages. And when you are more careful in sending your messages, it means you are also improving your emotional intelligence. I hope that you have found this video informative. If you have any questions or comments, please write them under the video. I will come up with a new video on introspection as soon as possible. Until the new video, take care of yourself, your family, your friends, your colleagues, and your subordinates. Before I go, I take the opportunity to remind you to subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.